Hey guys, welcome to my winter barn vlog. This is supposed to be one of the few times we're gonna get snow here. We don't get snow here like literally at all. And it's about 28 degrees outside. I don't have gloves because we're not used to this. My hands are freezing and we're gonna get the horses ready for snow. We had about like 0.1 inch of snow or something about a week ago. That was like an anomaly for us. So when they said we were gonna get snow this time, I figured it might actually happen, and it sounds like it's going to. We're not supposed to get snow until maybe 5 o'clock. I saw that it could come as early as 2, but we're gonna go ahead and get the horses prepped just in case. So the first thing we're gonna do is make sure everyone has blankets on. It did get down to the very, very low 20s, which for here is cold for us. So most of the horses already have blankets on. I made sure that the ones that are a little bit hardier are just in their light sheets. And then of course my weenies are in their mediums or heavies. So we added hot water to the water troughs last night, and look, it's still kind of like a slushy mess. Hi, good morning, boys. Where did your blanket go? First things first, we're gonna feed our horses this morning. I'm actually genuinely surprised that the beet pulp and the alfalfa pellets didn't freeze. So this is unusual for us. The Triple Crown is like frozen solid. We just have one horse on it. Oh, that's not even the Triple Crown. It's like literally frozen. Like, do you hear that? It's frozen solid. So I don't know what we're gonna do about that. So now we're just breaking water troughs. There we go. We just got the horses fed and we did all but one of the blankets. So we have 2 horses that don't wear blankets and haven't worn blankets, so they're gonna stay fine, but I think their coats are all right. And then we just have one more horse to blanket that's gonna need one. So first couple snowflakes have started to fall. So we saw them on the water troughs. We've been having to break them over and over again. And now there's snowflakes falling. So I wasn't sure if we were gonna get snow, but it sounds like we might actually. We were feeding my trainer's barn. I feed for a couple times a week, and it started actually snowing. I'm not really sure exactly how much snow this is considered, but it's enough to be like sticking to the ground, which for here is a lot of snow. So I guess we'll see, because it wasn't supposed to start this early, so I'm curious to see how much we're gonna get. We finally got back to our farm and it looks like there's a nice dusting everywhere. I mean, this is definitely more snow than we got the last time. But yeah, we're just breaking water troughs, and I think we're gonna bring one horse in just because he was standing by the gate pretty much begging to come in. But for the most part, we're planning on leaving them out. It's not that cold. It's, I wanna say maybe like 28. The feels like temp is about 18. I mean, that's pretty cold for here, but they all have their mediums on. They're all blanketed except for the one Mustang who doesn't wear a blanket, and otherwise they seem fat and happy. They got round bales, they'll have hay all night. So we're gonna keep checking on them and keep breaking water troughs is the current plan. When we feed, we're gonna add extra salt and make sure they have a little bit of warm water in their food. But yeah, so I mean, it's not huge amounts of snow, but it's like proper snow, not just ice. So how are you boys doing? You staying warm? This will be their second ever snow in their life, so, and I would argue this is much more of a real snow than the last one was. And she's eating the snow, which is kind of making me laugh. It's hard to see it off the camera, but now that we're inside and you can kind of see it against the light, that it's still kind of snowing and the wind's picking up. Hey guys, I came out to do night check on the horses and we have about 1 inch of snow. You can't really see because of all the grass, but I mean, I took a tape measure out here and it's about 1 inch. So that's super exciting for us. I think the crazy part is that it's still supposed to snow for another, I think like a couple hours. So we might even wake up to 2 inches, maybe. Supposedly the heaviest snow hasn't even happened yet. But I really came out here to do night check on the ponies. So how are you guys doing? You can kind of see the snow building up on their backs, but for the most part, they seem all right. All my fields do have round bales, especially in this cold. I made sure that they had hay, so everyone can keep themselves warm. They all have appropriate blankets, and yeah. And more than the snow, I'm honestly more worried about the cold and making sure that they're drinking. So we've been out here breaking the water troughs as often as they freeze. So I'm gonna go check them and see if they've frozen over yet. You can't really see the other fields, but because it's kind of dark, but they're all kind of just hanging out. Everyone's up and everyone seems to be all right. This is Pocket. We did check under her blanket. It did not soak through. That's just the top layer. The bottom layer is still waterproof. So that's just the sort of stuff that we're checking on. We haven't had that kind of weather before. So we just want to make sure everyone's all right. I know you guys can't see the water troughs, but I just checked both of their water troughs and honestly all of them, and none of them have frozen over yet since we fed, which is nice. It's only 9:30 now, so I plan on checking on them again in another hour or so. The temp is currently 24, feels like 15. So for us, that's pretty bad. We're really lucky that we have a hose that runs from our wash rack that reaches the paddocks. So everyone got hot water in their water troughs, and the plan is to keep adding hot water as well as breaking ice if we need to make sure that the water's a good drinking temperature, because the biggest thing we worry about in this weather is colic. Look, he's got icicles hanging from his chin. Alfie, are you staying warm? This is crazy. It was like barely there before and it's blown all in the barn aisle. Look at all that snow. I mean, that's a lot of snow. I mean, literally this whole bucket filled up. I had just taken all of that out. You used to be wild. You don't like it? Water troughs are broken for the night. We have at least 2 or 3 inches of snow. 12-foot Home Depot skeleton is under snow. This is really cool. This is way more than we were expecting, and I'm hoping that we can get out here before it melts in the morning and try to get some pictures with my camera. Good morning, guys. So it does look like some of it melted overnight, but we did come out with a camera, and hopefully we're gonna get some good photos of the horses in the snow. Better. Hey guys. What are you doing? Coming up, the snow's starting to melt a little bit. I didn't even think about like the snowballs in horses' feet. So we're pulling those out, but otherwise, you know, they're happy. They all have hay, still have blankets on because the wind chill is really cold. But otherwise it's been just like a normal feeding. So it's much warmer in my truck than it is in our apartment, actually. Got our hot water working again. It froze over a little bit for some reason. One of our spigots was still working, but a cold water one, but I think we don't use it as much, so it probably just wasn't. But we did get our hot water working. We went ahead and broke water troughs, so you can see it's still snow, but it's starting to thaw more. We have to take my dad to the airport, so I'm really hoping that the roads are not iced over. But thankfully we should be back before it starts to get cold. It's gonna be 15 degrees tonight, which is kind of crazy. It makes sense, and if you live in the snow it probably makes sense, but at least down here I didn't even think about it, that, you know, like having metal on their shoes probably makes it slick. So I've got a few ponies inside, just so that they're not slipping around on the ice, because as it's all melting and kind of compressing, there's like the layer of ice underneath. It's now a little bit slick, so they'll probably be inside. Otherwise all of the horses are outside. Sorry I didn't vlog anymore yesterday. Genuinely, it was 15 degrees last night, and that was without the wind chill, and my fingers were not. We don't have clothes for that weather. So, you know, I have what I have. But it's really funny because basically today it warmed up quite a bit. It doesn't look like it. It still seems kind of dreary, but it's funny, like where all of the sun hit, and then if you look over here, like there's a hard line where there's still snow, and there's like all snow in the woods and in like half the round pen, hierarchy. But then it's just melted. So I have a feeling that it's probably gonna stick around for a while, or at least until the weekend, because I think this is gonna stick around at least until it gets warm enough outside to melt it, because today I mean it got a little above freezing, but not much. The horses don't seem to mind it much though. What do you think? But yeah, thanks for tuning in for my vlog.